You are now listening to the Hot
Let's
Take
get
Hot
right
Box.
into it. The men's Royal Rumble, we think will probably be one of the later matches to go
It's
off.
gotta close. It's gotta
You
close
think
the
so?
show. I think. I think it does. If it were me, you probably I don't know. I think it happens after the Roman Fatal 4-Way, just so whatever happens there, you have a potential for 1, 2, or 3 more contestants to hop into that Royal Rumble. Plus, I think it sets you up a little better if Roman already wins to do something maybe with like a solo showing up at the Rumble as a participant or like something of that nature. Like if you do the men's Royal Rumble before Roman, it kind of takes away from the, I think, Roman appeal.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless one person wins the Rumble and you know it's going to be face to face with Roman and that's how you want to close it out, then that's how you do it. But then I think it becomes predictable as to who would win the Rumble at that point.
Yeah, and I just think you're like you said, you're losing the Randy, LA, like 3 big names that you could include in your Royal Rumble match because I know WWE is stacked with talent, but it's once you get to around 30 names, you're gonna start running out of being like guys that you care about or guys that you're really excited about. So I think they could use an LA Knight, a Randy Orton, maybe not all of them, maybe just a couple of them. It doesn't have to be all of them, but we'll see how that match plays out. I am in agreement though. I think that's one of the first ones that kind of goes off.
Yeah, I think you need it just to kick off a Randy story for Mania, right? Because he has really, I don't want to say nothing going on right now, but like he had just come back, so his feuds are very few and far between. And like he's not going to carry a Roman feud into Mania. So
No.
I think like what you're looking at is you got to kind of either put him in there to do a feud or figure out what you're doing with him and whether it be solo or if you want to explore the always fun legacy aspect and do Cody versus Randy. That's something too that I think you can start here at the Rumble.
So
just like getting him in there is important.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you need those different names included just to add a little because there's going to be there's always the possibility of legends coming back, which we'll talk about. There's all these different dudes that maybe were injured and then they come back that you haven't seen in a while. The Sami Zayns and there's a bunch of different.
Sammy's been off TV for a decent chunk of
Sheamus
time.
is another guy who I was thinking about the other day who has been off TV for a long time.
I think they were hinting at him coming back. I think Rey Mysterio they were talking is I think healthy. And again, you need to kick off a storyline with him because like not to say that Carlito hijacked his LWO storyline with Santos Escobar, but it's kind of like, all right, Rey comes back and you reignite this, or Rey tosses his son over the top rope at the Rumble, and you get Rey versus Dom too, which sign me up for that as well. Yeah, sign me up for that as well. But yeah, I think from that perspective, like you start thinking about, okay, we need 30 names, and you take into account maybe a legend or two, maybe a guy that hasn't been around for a while, like again a Sheamus or a Mysterio, and then some of the NXT guys. So I'm praying that Braun Breaker shows up in this Royal Rumble and just spears somebody to oblivion. And I think between him and Carmelo Hayes, they're both going to be up at some point in time, whether it be before the Mania or after the Mania. But like, yeah, I think a Royal Rumble push for them would be incredible.
So let's talk about there's 19 names that are possible to, that we don't know about. The 11 that we do know about, I'll name them off, rattle them off right now. Cody Rhodes, he was the first to announce saying that he was going to, enter himself. That's when Shinsuke came out and tried to fuck with him. CM Punk, that was in December. He came out and said, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. That was when we were thinking that him and Seth Rollins was the move, but now, plans they are very fluid right now. It seems like things are just moving all over the place. Shinsuke, he's locked in. He will be there. Bobby Lashley, he will be there. Drew
That man is
McIntyre.
huge.
We the Almighty. I always respect the Almighty. Drew McIntyre, Gunther,
Ring
every
general.
member of the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, Otis, and Akira Tozawa.
Nice. Tozawa's in it.
Yeah, he is. He's locked in.
I would like to see a nice Gable push in this Royal Rumble. Then, if not
blew
like a huge one, but yeah, I know they definitely did. They 100% did. But like, get a nice little showing for Gable here, just to like remind everyone, like, hey, I almost beat Gunther.
And then we finished it off with Kofi Kingston. He's
Nice.
always involved.
He's always there. Yeah.
And Damian Priest, who I've soured on of recent.
Why is Priest in? He's got the briefcase. Like, you do not need to be in the Rumble as well.
No man has failed cashing in as much as he has. It's getting ridiculous at this point. This man has no idea when to cash in, how to cash it in. He runs in during matches. It's like, what are you doing?
I think part of it is like from a storyline perspective. I think they just missed their window. Like, I think that there was a clear window, and they didn't do it. And then it was probably bound to happen soon. And then Seth got injured, so it's kind of just like, there still. I'm wondering if anything changes, if Judgment Day breaks up over the next couple of months and you see him kind of out of Judgment Day, what that does and how that goes about. But like, yeah, it's weird because the briefcase recently, I mean, like, even who had it?
Austin Theory?
Yeah, his was terrible.
Yeah.
He was like, it is tough when you have the briefcase because like you can't cash in on Roman.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna do, like, you can't.
Or you're gonna lose. It's
you're just gonna lose. Yeah. So
you look horrible.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume that at some point he fails to cash in, but like, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if every member of Judgment Day is in the Royal Rumble, or at least like most of them, and then see like how that interaction goes, because it would be interesting between Finn and Priest. I think you can kick off a feud here between them if they decide to turn on Priest.
So, of those people, we've named the people who are locked in. Who we talked about who are some of the other guys that you think are going to show up? We talked about Sami Zayn, Sheamus, things of that nature. But of the not like crazy names, who do you think that we're gonna see? Who else do we see in this? Like, are we gonna see some Imperium members? Do you see, Xavier Woods or something like that? Like, are those guys you think they're the filler kind of guys?
I mean, they've been pushing New Day and Imperium, so I'm assuming another member of Imperium event would show up in there, and if Xavier Woods shows up to kind of kick off that feud, I think one of the reasons to kind of push that feud is that you might be coming to a split in the tag titles. So I think they want to build up the tag division again on Raw if Priest and Finn do, break up those titles. Other people, I mean, I'm assuming Jimmy and Jay are both in it.
Yeah.
Because you need that like stare down to kick off their feud, because that's an obvious choice for Mania. Again, I think maybe like one or two NXT guys, so Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, I think kind of both don't have too much going on with their storylines. Or I know Carmelo Hayes has the Trick Williams saga going on, but like he's not overly featured in matches. Probably either Theory or Grayson Waller or both will be in the Rumble, right? I think both of them, probably Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
I would assume that's Santos. But again, like, all these people are people that have like built-in feuds or built-in like, oh hey, we're gonna toss you over the ropes, and we have somebody to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like Santos Escobar getting tossed over the ropes by either Rey Mysterio or Carlito is expected with their storyline. So it's not like they're not even going to be that's going to be filler, but they're not going to be people I expect to make like this deep run. From the Raw locker room, like maybe one of the Creed brothers
Yeah.
right? Like one of them. Um, what's Ivar's big ass doing? Like maybe Ivar.
Good.
I need to actually I need from Raw. I need one person to show up in the Rumble, and that's R-Truth.
Wow.
I need R-Truth in this Royal Rumble.
Do you think like Finn Balor's gonna be in it?
I think so. I think Finn is in. I think Finn makes a little bit of a deep run. Um, I could even see Finn coming to a point of eliminating Priest or getting mad at Priest if Priest eliminates him. And I think you're coming to a we're kicking Priest out the Judgment Day. I think Dom is a lock to probably show up in there too. Because again, like it is weird that not a lot of people have big storylines like going on, but there are these people that are like, all right, let's kick off a storyline for you, and the best way to do it is like go into the Rumble and get eliminated by somebody.
So I think we talked about all the different names that could be included in this. Like even like obviously the Kevin Owens like Logan Paul match will happen before that. So whoever loses that match could, in theory, pop their name in here. That's just another guy.
I also think I know we talked about like surprise names, or I think Andrade shows up. I know they were talking to him obviously leaving AEW, showing up in WWE. I think he makes an appearance.
Any chance Cena shows up?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I say no as well.
Sadly, I'm going to say no, just because like I don't want him to show up because I don't want to see him get tossed over the ropes
by Solo.
Yeah, like not that I'm being selfish, but like if Cena shows up, he's not winning, so it's like, damn, I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this man get tossed over the ropes again.
Yeah,
like that's as far as like older wrestlers from like I don't even know because like most of these legends have showed up again.
What about let me give you a few. I have a few names written down here. I mean Brock has the situation's kind of changed with that, so I imagine he probably won't be included. He's probably got to get shelved for a little bit.
I honestly hope he's not included with everything that's going down. Pretty disgraceful hearing the articles and hearing that. So like, no, just Brock, you live on a farm. You're pretty secluded.
Stay where
just
you're at.
Stay there. Yeah, just please don't show up anywhere. I don't want to see that man's face. I'm bad talking Brock Lesnar, but like, yeah, just get out.
Well, he deserves it right now. How about if allegedly, if whatever's going, I mean, that's just even if just read it. That's all I got to say to you people out there. Just go read it. How about some names from maybe outside of WWE that could be showing up? I've heard that Mr. Okada from New Japan. I'm not a big New Japan guy, or that doesn't really get me going, but I know a lot of people out there are huge, overall international wrestling fans. Do you think he could show up?
Yeah, there were rumors that he was going to.
I don't think it's the time though.
Up. No, I think he appears on NXT. I think he kind of shows up around Stand and Deliver, and then you kind of have a feud on NXT for him for a little bit. And I think that's, you'll get some bangers there before you main roster him. It's just like between New Japan and any other wrestling promotion outside of WWE, and I guess even a little bit AEW, but like a lot of those people are ex-WWE. It's just like tough to come right over right away and just like hop to a story. I know like AJ Styles did it years ago where it was like his WWE debut was at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like it's tough. And even I remember when that happened, it was like, it sounded like a third of the audience actually knew like when that music hit that it was AJ Styles. And there was like 2/3 that were just kind of like, this guy looks familiar, and then didn't move the needle too much. So like you'd want his introduction to WWE to be grander than like, Royal Rumble entrant number 10 is Okada. He just signed.
Yeah, I think you gotta put him on NXT or something like that. Introduce him to the American audience a little bit so that people maybe know what's going on. It seems like if he showed up, especially like I would be like, okay, like cool. It wouldn't really do much for me.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm more of a casual though. Like when it comes to that stuff, like I'm a hardcore WWE guy. Watched a little AEW. I know he was doing some stuff there for a little bit, but other than that, it's like I'm not going to get too
Yeah.
excited over, because
And again, it's the thing, like, the Royal Rumble's so tough because, like, and, like, we can talk about this in a little bit, but the short list, and the short list is about 7 names
yeah.
at this point. Like, if you debut in the Royal Rumble, it's kind of just like, all right, this was cool, but hopefully you get a good showing. But he's getting sent over the ropes.
All right, here's another name, and this one would get a big pop out of me. Do you think there's any chance MJF shows up?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. But I
Only
think there's a
because
chance.
I think there is a chance. I know they took him off the roster pages. They haven't really been too much like playing into or like hinting at his character in AEW recently. And I know like he's not obviously under contract, so there's probably a shot. Like I wouldn't be shocked. It would be like again like a pop like holy shit moment. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he may stay in AEW for another contract. I don't know if he's. I mean, I know like that was hinted in like different press conferences there and different their pay per views. But again, like it's not like out of the realm of possibility because everyone knows what the situation is with them.
So yeah, that's the one that that's like the one that gets me the most excited from maybe outside the WWE universe. That's a possibility. I think you would throw him into the fold of what they have going on right now. I think he would fit in just perfectly. But
oh yeah, he'd be feuding right away with Punk or Cody or anybody. Like he would be. You would introduce him, and it's like, all right, we have something for him already, like locked and loaded, ready to go. So again, it is one of those things to where like if he shows up, that would be an incredible get and an incredible get from Triple H, and one of those things that's kind of like, I don't want to say game set match from a Triple H perspective, but like that would be huge.
Yeah, well, and that would be like a fork in the heart of AEW. It would be tough for them to bounce back, especially when they're running Edge versus guys I've never heard of before on regular Friday night and Saturday night television. It's sad. I've tried to. I'm telling you, I'm honest. I've tried to watch Dynamite from time to time, and I just can't sit through it and watch it. No,
Luchasaurus.
no.
Kill switch.
El Hijo del Vikingo. No, I am good on a lot of those guys over there.
It's like it's so different now than I think it was even when like they had Punk and different storylines going. Like I'm not interested in any storyline that's not Christian, and like I'm not even interested in watching Christian. I mean, Christian still goes and he wrestles incredible matches, and like same thing with Edge. Like the matches are incredible. But if like Christian isn't cutting a fire promo about somebody's father, I'm just like I'm tapped out.
Disinterested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one I would like to bring up but this man is inside the WWE universe, and if this man showed up, he would win, and we didn't see him all that long ago. Dwayne, do you think there's any possibility that The Rock shows up on Saturday night?
I would say 60-40 he shows up.
Okay. I mean, if they're going to do the Mania, then this is. I feel like this is the easiest.
This is the way to do it. This is the way to do it, unless there's one other way to do it that's intriguing enough, but like people would hate it, and so I don't even want to. I'll dive into it, but like it's not too far of a dive. But I think like you just got to like rip the Band-Aid off, because what the next live event is and what you can do at that live event, like. It's one thing because like, okay, if Dwayne doesn't show up, then you're looking at a list of 4 or 5 guys that are going to win the Royal Rumble. It would probably be easier to just take those 4 or 5 guys and put them in an Elimination Chamber match to face Seth Rollins, because of those 4 or 5, mostly all of them are on Raw anyway.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like, okay, you know what? You got a list of, and you can do the list like Punk, Cody, Drew, Priest, or Finn. Like, you have a list, maybe even Nakamura, you have 6 solid ones to be like, all right, you 6 go in the chamber, winner faces Seth, and it's locked in. The only other way that like the Roman and Dwayne thing feels more authentic is if he wins this, and it's like, hey, I was thinking about that when he did the executive chair board member thing on when he signed on. Was that Wednesday?
Yeah.
He signed on to it. I was like, what a storyline that would be. That again, he joins the board as an excuse to basically just enter himself into the Royal Rumble, corporate rock style, and just kind of like, again, win the Royal Rumble and challenge Roman Reigns. Because you have that. I mean, like you can pose it as just like it's not just The Rock coming back. Here's a storyline of like, hey, I'm on the board now. I, make decisions here at TKO. I'm part of the process, and guess what? I'm taking back what's mine, the head of the table. So again, I think there's a great chance he shows up. I'll be a little bit disappointed actually if like he doesn't. It'll be just like he didn't show up. That's crazy. So again, I'm more on like the 60-40 where it's like if he doesn't show up, a little bit of disappointment, kind of like get the fact that he wouldn't show up. But yeah, if he shows up, he's going to win.
Yeah, that's got to be. If he shows up, he's the winner, and it's a lock. That would be it. He'd come in at 30. You wouldn't expect it. That's what I'm hoping for. By the time they get to 30, it's like we've seen all the lock names. We know all the people who are in there, like the 30. Because it felt like didn't last year we know Cody was going to be 30. Like, well, once we got to like 30, it was like, oh, they haven't like.
Oh, it's Cody. Yeah,
yeah.
Cody announced he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he didn't come out.
Yeah.
So you knew like Cody's coming out at. I think after probably like the 20th person came out, you were like, they're not going to do Cody at like 27.
Yeah.
So you kind of were just like, all right, Cody's coming at 30, he's going to win. And you didn't know how he was going to do it.
So I am with you 100% on just like it. This is the spot. This is the way to do it. Like you said, I think they could do, which I don't know if you would actually want to do, which is Dwayne like trying to earn his right to get into this match via an elimination chamber, which I don't think that's something that they would want to do.
There's one other thing you could do that doesn't involve him winning the Rumble, but it would involve either a match at Elimination Chamber, and I don't know, they would do like a singles match, like his first singles match in however many years, like against Solo for the right to face Roman.
Yeah.
They could do a tag match of Dwayne and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo. And if Dwayne and Jay win, then Dwayne, wins the opportunity to face, put it on the line there and just say, The Rock comes back and says, I want to challenge for the head of the table, this, that, and the other thing, this, that, and the other thing. And say, Roman basically says, I'll give you the right to challenge for that if you beat Solo and Jimmy in a tag match, and you got to go find yourself a partner. It's obviously going to be, main event Jay.
It's just me, Oos.
Yeah, Jimmy takes the pin to Dwayne after Dwayne does like one rock bottom. And then because that kicks off another storyline in and of itself, which is the Jimmy Jay storyline. Yeah. So like that's one way to do it. And I wouldn't be mad at that. Because again, it gets The Rock in the ring at Chamber in Australia, which is going to be a huge show. But it's not like a singles match. And he'll do like... Remember, was it?
He can get a little bit of work. Remember when I was just about to say this, when they did The Rock and Cena versus R-Truth.
Yeah.
And I think The Miz.
Yeah, they did that. Awesome Truth.
It's just like to kind of get a little bit of work in before your big event.
Even last year, though, like when I think Cena came back and Cena did like a random tag match. I know Cena did the tag match at Fastlane.
Yeah.
This year with LA Knight. So, like, I could see, like, again, that would be a way to do it without having Dwayne just straight up show up at 30 in the Royal Rumble. But like, if that's the case, then I think only one other man wins the Royal Rumble, and I think that's probably CM Punk.
Yeah, see, I think we're in agreement. So let's go. I have the odds up here for people for the men's Royal Rumble. Who the favorites are? What at plus 125 to win the Royal Rumble? It's CM Punk. That's probably. I don't want to say if The Rock. Like I guess I would have to make a decision either way, but you just don't know if The Rock's going to show up. I just think no matter what, if The Rock doesn't show up, it has to be somebody from Raw who's not named Cody Rhodes. So it would be either Gunther or CM Punk, and I think it would be CM Punk. I think that's the best avenue.
Yeah, like I'm sorry to my boy Cody Rhodes, but it's just it's not, and I'm sorry to wrestling Twitter who may be watching this, and I hope somebody's listening to this, and I hope we get some nasty comments on this YouTube page about wrestling Twitter, but like it's not happening this year. It's not. It's
Get it through your head.
I don't see any way that you're just like we're running it back. The only way I could think of is if like they pull a what was that 2021 maybe, where it was like the Roman I'm a stack, Daniel Bryan and Edge on top of each other and pin them. But like Daniel Bryan found his way into that match for no reason. Like it was Edge won the Rumble, and then like Daniel Bryan just like found his way in it. You can make a triple threat match like that, but like Cody's not going to win still. So someone's going to eat a pin, and at that point, like why even have Cody involved in that? So like, just everyone on the wrestling Twitter, keep it in your heads. Cody's not beating Roman at WrestleMania. I don't care how many hypotheticals we put out there. All right, Roman's taking his belt to September with him. Just enjoy the ride. Just literally just enjoy it, because that's what's going to happen. But continue back with the odds.
No, yeah, I just to piggyback off what you said, we've talked about this a million times that these people, like, I get a lot of people out there Cody fans. I am a Cody fan as well. I would love for the man to finish his story. I think it would be a huge moment. I think I would love. I mean, we're going there, so if I'm not getting The Rock, I would love to see Cody win the title. That would be an enormous moment. That would be awesome. I just don't think this is the year. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're ready to take the belt off Roman yet, and I don't want him to lose. I don't want him to take another pin to Roman Reigns. I just don't want to see it happen. So I'm, in some ways, looking out for the best interest of Cody and saying just not. This isn't the year. And from the things you've heard from Cody, it kind of sounds like he knows, and he's trying to let people know, like, this. It's not now. This is not the time.
I think he wins it probably by Survivor Series or at Survivor Series next year.
Whenever Roman Reigns passes Hulk Hogan, that is when I will.
I think he
agree.
could obviously. I think with the whole debacle with the Money in the Bank briefcase this year with Priest, I wouldn't be shocked if they just put the briefcase on Cody next year, and then Cody just calls his shot and says, "This is the day I'm doing it."
Yeah, like does the good guy thing, kind of like what RVD did. Was like, "Yo, like I want you at ECW One Night Stand," and he just goes, "Yo, I want you at Survivor Series 1-on-1." You could even put some in a Hell in a, like, you could do something crazy if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you do something incredible. I mean, outside of that, though, it's got to be I think like CM Punk's your, I don't want to say clear winner, but like I can't think of anybody else. Like I'm trying to picture it of like somebody sending, because again, you would have to have a clear picture of like Cody and CM Punk and Gunther like all flying over the top rope, and I'm just not seeing who's going to be standing there if all those guys are just laying on the canvas.
Yeah.
Like, I love Drew. What Drew's been doing has been awesome. I don't think I could see a world where everybody's just on the canvas and Drew McIntyre is like, hey, I get to face Seth Rollins again. Wouldn't be shocked if that did happen because the storyline's there. But, like, it would be, like, a feat when you think about, okay, all these guys are over the top rope, and we're stuck. We're here with, Drew winning. I'd CM Punk, or at this point, it's Gunther, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'll go through the odds here real quick, and then we can talk about it. CM Punk plus 125, Cody still here at plus 200, Gunther plus 300. Then there's a little bit of a drop off. Then you have The Rock at plus 900. That would be where my money. I would put if I could actually bet on it. That would be what I would bet on. Drew McIntyre at plus 1,000, Jey Uso at plus 1,000, Sami Zayn at plus 1,400. And then you got Kevin Owens, Solo Sikoa, and MJF at plus 2,500. Brock Lesnar at plus 3,300. Big E, Damian Priest,
The
LA
Big E
Knight.
thing is interesting.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of Big E chatter of like, I know he's came out and said like I have no timetable to return, but there's been like some chatter because what you're getting is the Imperium New Day feud. You know, I don't know if a Big E return at the Rumble to then generate a Big E versus Gunther WrestleMania match for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Which would be a way to again finally get that title off of Gunther, because I could see Big E winning that because it's his first match back from forever. I don't know if he's like medically cleared or if it's something that like he's able to go.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna. I just. It doesn't sound like he's like doing an angle or like just like.
But the pop would be incredible. Like if he showed up, that pop would be absurd.
It would.
But it'd be like one of those pops where it's like when you think about it, you're just surprised that he's back because he got cleared. You're not surprised that he's back because like from a storyline perspective, like he's back. Like some of these people show up and they're like, it's a pop because like what the hell is this man doing here? But it's not like I expected this man to be here.
So I would say 5 names that I think are the possible winners: CM Punk, Gunther, The Rock.
Yes.
I mean, I think you'd have to throw Cody Rhodes in there as an outside if that's really it's just he's a viable option. And then at 5, I don't really know what I would do. Probably Drew, and that's just an outside-ish. I don't know.
Solo would be interesting.
Yeah, I just don't think they're ready for that yet.
No, I think that's a like post Roman losing the title feud.
Yeah.
I think.
No, name I forgot about. Sorry to interrupt you. I just saw this. Ricochet. I know he's not going to win, but that's another guy who we haven't seen in a while.
There.
Yeah.
You haven't been seen in a while. What's Bronson Reed been up to? Like, I know he has a match with Jey Uso on Monday, but he might show up because Bronson Reed.
He gives spooky promos on Raw all the time. That's his thing.
I'm trying to think like SmackDown names. Like, will Ellen Prince show up?
Sure hope not.
I know you're a big,
yes,
pretty
boy.
Guy. Yes, boy. One of those two. Did you get one of them? Maybe Pete Dunne. Now that he's back to not being Butch. I would like if I'm going a final 4 of mine that I would enjoy seeing. I think that this is kind of how it goes. I think you get like CM Punk, Solo, Dwayne, and I'll go with Randy Orton. I guess as my final 4. If I had to pick the last 4, I think you might get like a Randy eliminates CM Punk type deal, and then Solo eliminates Randy. And I think you can get like the way that Dwayne wins is if the last 2 are Dwayne and Solo, and Dwayne just tosses Solo over the ropes.
Yeah. So
and
Now my official pick, I probably would have to go. I feel like they're gonna do Gunther, but I feel like I would like him to have the belt off of him, and then I'd feel more confident picking him. I have a tough time thinking they're just gonna give it to CM Punk right away, just because it's not something they usually do. Reward you when you walk back in, but it would just be logical sense to put them right into the put that right into the Seth Rollins feud. I think I got to go with The Rock though. If they're really gonna do this at this year's WrestleMania, do it big. This is the way to do it. It's the easiest way to you keep The Rock out of the ring. You don't have to have him get in there really until the Mania.
Fired, and it gets Roman out of the ring. Like Roman's feud right now is it's with basically between it being with Nick Aldis and with LA Knight, Randy, and AJ, like it's great, and I think it's been really good. But you can see like the LA Knight AJ feud is there, and that's going to be what's going to carry into Mania. And then with Randy, you put him with maybe I think if Randy, like I said, Randy's going to be potentially in the Final Four. He gets to the Final Four by eliminating Cody.
Yeah,
he just tosses Cody right over the ropes. Cody thinks they're going to like team up to take some people out. Old Legacy and Cody and Randy's like, yeah, for sure. And then he just like RKO's him out of nowhere and then throws him over. And then you get the whole like Randy got in my way of finishing my story, and then that's how you keep Cody out of the title match at Mania, and that's how you put Dwayne in there.
I've been watching some old stuff, man. Randy used to do some demonic shit back in the day. Like that was some next level. I mean, RKOing Stephanie McMahon and them handcuffing Triple H to the ring.
Yeah.
Just some real good shit. I think if they turned him heel, that would be sick. That would be.
I think you have to before like. I was like, again, you're looking at what's on Friday Night SmackDown, and like, there's like pretty much one actual heel in that whole thing, and that's just Roman. Oh, Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
About him.
Yeah. I mean,
he can show up.
I don't even think there's odds for him on here. That's the tough thing.
I think they might be like angling towards, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what it seems. They might be angling towards either like a trios belt or something like that, because you have a lot of trios now that are just like big, and it's weird. It's like you got Bobby and the Street Profits, and then you got Karrion Kross and AOP, and then you got the LWO, and you got Santos Escobar. Like, there's a lot of factions of threes, and something's got to be going on.
So your official pick?
My official pick is Dwayne.
Okay, I'm with you.
I'm going Dwayne.
It would probably sound so biased, but hey, this is what we've been angling for this for a long time.
I'd be thrilled because it's like, all right, you got that out of the way. I don't have to worry about anything related to like when's The Rock showing up or are they going to do it. You just get it out of the way right now, and then you have a better, like, that makes the Elimination Chamber match that much better. Like, what are you going to do, an Elimination Chamber match to see who faces, Roman? I mean, like, it's going to be Dwayne. It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So again, you have those Raw superstars. You have a list of 6 of them. Put them in the chamber, and let CM Punk beat them all. And I think like that gives you a better, like, again, like you said, it's tough to see CM Punk just coming back, and in your first televised match in the ring is the Royal Rumble, and you just winning it.
Yeah.
So again, you get to the whole like, all right, I failed at the Royal Rumble because of somebody else. He's really good at placing blame on others, but hey, guess what? Elimination Chamber match is coming up. There's still a chance to punch my ticket to face Seth for that title, and then you get 5 other guys, and then CM Punk wins there, and it's a little bit more gratifying when he wins that one.
Yeah, and who knows? Anything could happen we're not geniuses, ladies and gentlemen. We're just saying anything can happen. Stone Cold's 250-1. Wanted to let you know that too as well. So
put $1 on it.
Put $1 on it. Let's make some bread, brother. So that is the men's Royal Rumble. I think
you are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.